All right. Good morning. Welcome. All right, we're going to go ahead and get going right on our backs. Okay, so you can bring feet wide, knees together, or you can switch it, knees wide, feet together. So this one's a little bit more of a stretch, just getting right into it. If you need something a little bit more relaxing, bring those feet wide, knees together. One hand on the belly, one hand on the chest, closing down those eyes. And let's take that big breath in through the nose. Belly expands, that rib cage expands. And then exhale all that breath out. And big breath in. And exhale. Just feeling that rise and fall of the belly, of the chest. Just being very aware, very focused on that breath. Just letting everything else go. Being in this space. And let's bring those knees together and then hug those knees into the chest. Give it a little rock from side to side. Let's keep that right knee in. That left leg will extend out long. So start by hugging that knee into the chest. Start to bring that knee out towards the shoulder. And then we'll just grab with just the right hand. Bring that knee out as wide as you can, keeping that left hip grounded down. And then bring that knee across the body into that spinal twist, reaching that left arm out. Not your left arm, your right arm is reaching out. The leg is going over towards the left side. And bring that knee back to center. Switching sides, let's hug that left knee in, right leg reaches out. And start to bring that knee over to that left shoulder. And just grabbing onto it with that left hand, bring that knee out even wider. Right hand can come onto that right hip to keep the hips down and level. And then bring that knee across. The left arm reaches out. Take a big breath in and then exhale, soften into this, still keeping that core engaged. Let's bring that knee back to center. Let's warm up that core a little bit. So stack those knees right over those hips, shins parallel to the ground. Reach those fingertips up towards the ceiling. And from here, we're going to extend that left leg down, right arm reaches up overhead. So that heel is just hovering, the hand is just hovering over the ground, Inhale, bring it back up. Then exhale, switch sides. So extend that right leg down, left arm is reaching up overhead. So both are just a few inches above the ground. Inhale it back up and switch. Up and switch. Up and switch. Switch, back up. Now we'll extend it out. We're going to hold it here. So really pressing that whole low back into the mat. The abs are nice and tight. And bring it back up. Switching sides. Again, we'll hold it here. Press that low back flat. Almost like we're trying to lift that tailbone up off of the mat as that low back presses down. Bring it back up and hug those knees in. Little rock from side to side. Let's lower those feet down, about hip distance apart. Grip the toes, balls of the feet, heels, just lifting that tailbone up first and then roll up one vertebrae at a time. Tailbone scoops up, core stays tight. Keep lifting. And slowly roll it back down. Got 2 more times press. Lift those hips up. Roll it down. Last one, press and lift. And bring it back down. Now let's hug the knees, roll up to a seat. You can just sit cross-legged, sitting nice and tall. Reach those arms up. Let's go side bend over to that right side. So that left arm reaches up and over, nice tight core. Bring it back up to the other side. Right arm reaches up and over. Inhale it back up. We'll twist it over to that right side. Lengthen on that inhale. Exhale, deeper twist. And center over to that left side. And bring it back to center on those hands and knees. A few cat-cows. So inhale, drop that belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone into that cow spine. And exhale, round it into that cat spine. Couple more times, moving with that breath, maybe adding any side-to-side movements or any other extra movements that feel good. And let's bring it back to neutral spine. So same idea that we did on our backs, but we're going to do it on our hands and knees, extending that right leg out, left arm's reaching forward. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, extend out. Exhale, curl. Think really squeeze that elbow to the knee. Inhale, reach. Okay, so core stays tight, back stays flat. You want to extend it out. Exhale, curl. Inhale, reach. And curl. And reach. Last one, curl. And reach. And lower that hand, lower that knee. All right, other side. Left leg extends out, right arm reaches forward. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach. Curl. And reach. Curl. And reach 2 more times. Curl it in. And reach. Curl. And reach. And lower that hand down. Lower that knee down. Let's go ahead and step it back to a plank and then lift those hips right up into that downward facing dog. So those hips press up, heels are pressing down. Maybe pedal those feet out, stretch out those calves and hamstrings. And let's inhale on the toes. Bend those knees, stepping those feet up, top of the mat. Sliding those hands to the shins, half lift. And slide those hands down as we fold. Just maybe let it hang here for a breath or two. And then bend into those knees, flatten out that back. Let's rise to standing, reach it up nice and tall. Interlace those fingers, nice easy bend over to that right side. Inhale it back up to that left side. Inhale, bring it back up, flat back. Release those hands as we fold. And inhale, lengthen out. So hands to the shins. Exhale, plant those hands, step those feet back to our plank. Weight shifts forward, lower down onto the stomach. We'll press into those palms, roll the shoulders down and back, lifting that chest into that cobra, or you can press up a little higher into that upward facing dog. So wherever you're at, we want those elbows down, neck long. And then exhaling those hips to the sky, down dog. And inhale on the toes. Bend those knees, step those feet, top of the mat. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And side bend to the right. Inhale it back up. Exhale it to the left. Inhale it back up. Now interlace those fingers behind the back, pull the knuckles down, open that chest. Another breath or two here. And release those arms up. Exhale, fold. Half lift, inhale. And exhale, plant those hands, step those feet back to our plank. Lower down. Inhale, lift that chest. Then exhale, send those hips back to that child's pose. So toes together, knees can come a little bit wider. Soften that chest down. And relax through those shoulders as well, too. And let's come back onto the hands and knees. And bring those knees about hip distance apart. Hips are going to stay high, right above those knees. We're just going to walk those hands forward. Now press into the palms, pull the hands towards each other, and then they pull back, like we're trying to pull those shoulders back into the sockets. Now from here, we can start to soften that head, maybe the chest down towards the mat. It's really stable through those shoulders, through the arms, big stretch to that upper back, maybe into those lats and the shoulders. Let's lower those forearms down. We'll slide forward to our plank. A little bit of core here. Chest pulls forward, shoulder blades are pressing away. Squeezing those glutes and those legs. Go 3, 2, and 1. Drop those hips down. Point those toes. Those elbows will pull back. It's going to be lift up through that top of the head. So tucking the chin slightly, just gazing out towards that top edge of the mat. And we'll soften it down. Hands come underneath those shoulders, curl those toes, press it back up into that downward facing dog. Let's step that right foot outside that right hand. Let's lower that back knee down. Okay, that chest pulls forward. Hold it here. Add in a little twist. Right arm is reaching up. And then we'll lower that hand down. Take another breath. And then we'll send that leg back up to the sky, down dog, or three-legged dog. And then curl that knee and step that foot through. Spin that back heel down. So we're coming into that warrior 2 stance with those feet, circling those arms around, teeing them out, gazing out towards that right hand. Bend into that front knee a little bit more. Then we'll lower that forearm down as that left arm sweeps up overhead. And if you want to slide that right hand down inside that foot, that is fine too, or it might be a little stiff this morning and on the knee feels maybe a little better. Let's circle that. Left hand down, left heel spins up again. Add in that twist. Right arm is reaching up. And that hand lowers down. Step it back to our plank. Vinyasa. Exhale, down dog. Bring those feet together. Inhaling that left leg up. We'll step that left knee outside that left foot. Chest is pulling forward. Then we'll lower that back knee down. Twisting, reaching that left arm up. And lower that hand down. Hold it here for another breath. And then we'll send that back up to that three-legged dog. Curl that knee to the nose. Step that foot through. Back heel will spin down. We'll circle those arms up and around to that warrior 2. And that core stays nice and tight. Now let's lower that forearm down as we sweep that right arm up over our head. And maybe sliding that left hand down inside that foot. Now we'll lower that right hand down. Left hand is going to spin up. And lower that hand down. Step it back to our plank. Vinyasa. And exhale, down dog. Yeah, then we'll bring it onto those toes. Step those feet, top of the mat. Bring those toes together to touch. Finding that half lift. Then exhale, fold. We'll rise to standing, reach up tall. Exhale, sink the hips down into that chair. Bring those hands to heart center. We're going to twist it over to that right side. Back to center, to the left. Bring it back to center. Reach those arms forward. And straighten those legs as we fold. And then go and plant those hands, step it back to our plank, vinyasa. And down dog. Feet together, inhale. Left or right leg up. Step that foot outside that hand. Lower that back knee down. Add in that twist, right arm reaches up. Lower that hand down. Send that leg back up, three-legged dog. Curl that knee to the nose. Stepping that foot through. Back heel spins down. Circle those arms around, warrior two. Lower that forearm down. Left arm sweeps up and over. And then inhale, let's rise back up, straighten that front leg, flip that palm, reach it up and back. And then tee out the arms. Just a teeny tiny bend in that front leg. Reach the hand forward first. Hand comes down to the shin, maybe to the ground. Left arm reaches up. So we don't want a ton of weight on that right hand. Maybe not even touching the ground at all. And then spin. Left hand down, left arm reaches up, or left hand down, right arm reaches up. And then hands down, step it back. Vinyasa. And down dog. All right, inhaling, that left leg lifts. Step that foot outside that hand. Back knee down. And twist. Lower that hand down. Sending that leg back up, three-legged dog. Curl that knee and step that foot through. Back heel down. Circling those arms around, warrior two. And lower that forearm down. Or that hand down inside the foot. Extended side angle. And inhale, rise back up. Straighten that front leg, flip that palm, reach it up and back. Then we'll re-tee out the arms. Slight bend in that front knee, reach it forward. Hand comes down, right arm reaches up. And then spin that right hand down. Right heel spins up, twist that left arm up. Lower that hand down, step it back to plank. Vinyasa. And exhale, bring it back to a down dog. These can come as wide as you would like. Press those hips to the heels, reaching through those arms. Let's come back to hands and knees. Just go right into down dog. Then we'll step that right foot outside that right hand. Back knee down. Just a quick little twist. Right arm reaches up. And let's lower that right forearm down to the mat if it reaches. Otherwise, just lower that hand down. And then if you can, lower that left hand down. So again, we're going to be a little more active through this one. We're going to pull that right heel back, left toes or knees pulling forward. Stabilize. And then we can soften, pull that chest forward, let that knee open up a little bit wider without letting those hips sway. Again, left toes forward, right heel back, and release. One more breath. And then come back onto those hands. Let's straighten that front leg, pull the right toes back, half splits. And then we'll rebend into that knee. Step it back, down dog. Other side, left foot outside that left heel. Back knee down. That twist, left arm reaches up. And from here, try and bring that left forearm down. No big deal if it's not making it. Bring that other elbow down if it's accessible. And again, we're going to pull right toes forward, left heel pulls back. And then soften it down, let that knee open up a little more. Again, left heel back, right toes forward. And down. Let's do that one more time. Stabilizing, active through those feet. And then relax it down. Let's come onto those hands. Straighten that front leg, pull those toes back. And then we'll rebend into that knee. Step it back to our down dog. Let's come to a seat as we start to finish this off. Go ahead and cross those legs. Sit up nice and tall. So I would bring your shins staggered slightly so they're not crossing, but just side by side. And then start to walk those hands forward, stretching out through those hips. Lengthening through the spine, grounding the hips down. And then walk those hands forward a little bit more. And bring it back up. Go ahead and switch sides. And sliding those hands forward. Lengthening through that spine. And then walk those hands back up. Closing down those eyes. Hands can just rest on those knees. Taking that big breath in through the nose. And out through the nose, just letting the shoulders soften down. Let yourself feel heavy into the mat. Really supported, relaxed. A couple more breaths just on your own. And you're just being in this space. And then blinking those eyes open. All right. Thank you all so much. Have a great weekend, and I will see you guys next week.